All right, folks. Now, thinking about your question, it may not be perfect. It might be, you're like, oh, I wish I had 10 more minutes. That's okay. We're moving forward. We're moving on. Design is a process of rapid iteration. And so we're going to jump into kind of imagining how we might answer this open-ended challenge that you put out in front of you. What might be the possible solutions? Design is about possibilities and opportunities. So what opportunities and possibilities might you imagine for your partner? And so to cue us up of how we're going to do that, we're going to watch Yusuke, who is a product designer. He's the founder of Eagle Hunt Studio, and he's also a lecturer here at the D.school. And he's going to talk about how he imagines some possibilities for his design work.
Yeah. So the methods that I use doing the type of work that I do is the build to think and think to build mentality, especially in the prototyping phase.
It's crazy because I was back to back.
Right. So the point of bringing the idea into physicality is to foster the conversation, and through that conversation you're beginning to understand better about what is it really that the person is reacting to. It could be emotional stories or the implicit needs that the user or the people might not be able to verbalize or articulate when you're answering the survey and so forth. The concept doesn't have to be 3D models or something. It could be an inspirational photo with a poetic tagline to elicit the emotional response.
Like if I gave you a pen and this pen, like, is there a way to demonstrate with what we have here how you would build to think or think to build or interact with me in a method? Like, can you like use a concept that you have used before or make something up and like test it?
Yeah, I think.
Or chess or
whatever. I think, again, build to think, it doesn't have to be the physical thing, but it's just getting the idea into the commonality so that you can actually say, that's what I meant, or that's not how I interpret it, right? It's just a common ground that you can have a conversation based on concreteness. So let's say one of the ideas is about like saying hi. You know, I'm just making up some random thing. You say, let's say hi, right? So that's hi, right? But then if you do this, right? Hi. It's like this person like, hi. There's a positive emotion around it, right? And then if you say, this is hi, but it's just there's emotion to it, right? Like it's a stick figure, like a glorified stick figure, right? And even just the change in gesture from this little sharp corner there versus thinking about hi and making this two dots in the line, that even provokes emotion. I'm communicating so much more than just to say hi, HI, right? It's important to get your idea something tangible. That the fidelity is relatively important, but then other people misunderstanding is actually a really good idea because that often takes us into tangential place where you haven't thought about. So I'm not here to convince like this is what I meant. Like I want you to see this and then give me your interpretation, and through that, like you get me something to think about. So build to think and thinking so that I can build on top of things. You know, whether it's solo or with a partner.
We're going to spend some time building to think about some ideas. We're going to build to think right now. And this is an opportunity to, again, address the open-ended question that you've laid out, right? You may not get to the perfect answer right now, but you're going to build up some ideas. And so what I love about what Yusuke just lined up is that he's really thinking about, we're building some ideas to provoke a conversation. Right? We're not making sure that the idea is perfect in fidelity and it's got every little interesting piece. You actually just want to put an idea out there to get a conversation going. And so sometimes it's hard to get started. And so we at the D.school try to give some constraints, some provocations to kind of think about how might I take these concepts and ideas in a couple different directions. So Louis is going to key us up about how we might give some imagination, some fodder to how we might come up with some good ideas here.
Great. Ooh. Let's talk about constraints. Okay. Thank you, Laura. remember that your piece of paper had another side. I'm going to go ahead and invite you to flip that over. And now you should have 8 squares, but I actually want you to fold it back over so that you just have 4 squares. Use the top sheet. Do those 4 squares look familiar? We're going to very quickly imagine some ideas that would answer this question. And as Laura said, we are going to use constraints to help us, because that's one way to help us think about things. If we offered you, like, you could do anything, it's actually really hard. It's like when you go to the grocery store and there's too many cans of soup and you're just like, ugh. We're going to try to cut that back by offering some constraints. It's going to help you brainstorm, all right? This is going to go super quick. I don't want to hear no excuses about I can't draw or this or that. Stick figures, perfect, all right? Are you ready? You're going to have 1 minute to draw. I would avoid text if I can. Just get the idea in your mind and just draw it out. You don't know the idea? Start drawing. The idea will come, I promise. All right, ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
First constraint, it's got to be expensive. So what I did for Laura is thinking about how I can help her build community wherever she goes. I thought of having like a personal matchmaker, but like for community, like for friends. So wherever she goes, she's got this guy that's just, call him up. Hey, I'm going to New Orleans. He's like, I know people there, let me work on it. And he's going to just line up some folks that she would be interested in. That would be super expensive. That also answers the question. So your constraint is expensive. 1 minute, go. All right, that's it. No more detail, no more shadow, whatever. Okay, moving on. Next constraint, it's got to be something that's done tomorrow. In this instance, I thought about what Laura could do tomorrow so that she could build community wherever she goes. I thought of maybe like a cool protocol where she could basically have these lunch invitations where she would invite her friends, but all of her friends had to invite one of their friends. So ultimately, you'd get a whole bunch of people coming in. That's something that Laura could do tomorrow. Doesn't require $10,000 or whatever this guy would cost. It could be done tomorrow. Super cheap, super quick. Ready? Go. Seconds. And time. All right, moving along. We good? We ready? All right, we're moving along. Next constraint is, it's got to be some sort of a game. Be any type of game. Could incorporate a game, could be on a game show, just got to be something involving a game, okay? What do we do for Laura? All right, let's see. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, I thought, what if Laura had like a pinwheel? It's like a pinwheel type thing, and it had different little activities on it. One would be like, meet a new friend, or go to a new event, or just call up a buddy, or just hang out with a buddy. There was lots of different things, and then she had to like, every day, spin a little thingy, I don't know what you'd call it, but she'd spin it, and then it would land on one of those ideas, and then she would just do it. And so that way, at least she was like constantly putting it out there and trying to like build community in that way. All right? So that was a game, an incorporated game. It was a game. 1 minute, go. All right, 5 seconds. And time. All right, we good? Feeling good? Some people are still cheating over here trying to write the last thing. That's all right, we're good, okay? I would be upset if I didn't get to nerd out a little bit. You know, I'm a big sci-fi guy. So the next constraint is gonna be robots. That's right, robots. You might ask, what kind of robot? I don't know. Robots take a lot of forms. Here's what I did with Laura. I went literal, but I went tiny, okay? Laura, this is what I got. It's a little baby robot. His name's Bebop. And he sits on your shoulder, and he listens to you, but only when you talk to him. And everything you tell him about, he remembers. Things that you like, places you like to go. And while you're walking around with little Bebop, he's transmitting that information to other little people's Bebops. And they're like, yo, this person also likes sandwiches. Do you like sandwiches?
No.
And then they link up and they're like, yo, these people should meet. They have common interests. Yeah. That's Bebop, the baby robot, sits on your shoulder. Okay? Cool. Robots, 1 minute, go. All right, pens down. All right, we good? We got some ideas? Any little companion robots like mine? All right, yeah, you're like, yes. Okay, what do you think we're gonna do with these ideas? We're gonna tell about, yeah, we're gonna share out our ideas, okay?